think on that note, I'm gonna bring in Ahren Posthumus now, and he's the co-founder of Project Kooda, the sponsors of today. And Project Kooda is a seamless freelance staffing solution with AI-enabled cost saving for business. And Ahren is passionate about addressing the issues of economic opportunity, data security, and the augmentation of human skills. Ahren was actually awarded the Investec Entrepreneur Leader of the Year in 2016 and the Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young South Africans Editor's Choice Award in 2020. He's a cybersecurity expert and is the co-creator of 5-star rated apps Job Matcher and Lockdown Boza. Ahren, it seems both individuals and companies are looking for more. And earlier you and I touched base and you were talking to me about a war.
Yeah, Roy, so I mentioned something about a war, but I'm actually going to come back to that in a second. So what I first want to talk about is the future of work strategy. So my name is Ahren. I'm from Project Kooda, and we specialize in connecting companies with exceptional freelance talent and helping that talent manage their work more efficiently. In our pursuit to build tools and solutions for the future workspace, we've spoken to literally hundreds of highly skilled professional consultants, and we've digested their feedback over the last year. And that's what I want to kind of share with you guys today. So what we found was a few distinct common desires that these people had, things that experts want from their work. And one of them is to be challenged, because challenge fades when you work in the same role at the same company for an extended period of time. And individuals who are regarded as highly skilled tend to be achievers. They're people who enjoy, and in fact, they need a challenge to perform at their best. They also want to feel valued, and they are valuable, right? So top tier expertise is not cheaply replaceable. And they also strongly preference flexibility and freedom despite economic hardship. So we saw the same sort of thing in the 2000s tech boom. All of the companies were offering developers table tennis, futons, coffee, and food as a standard, because that's what the workforce demanded. And this is really no different. People are going from wanting flexibility to demanding it. At this point, we've really covered what people want, but it still isn't clear what that future workspace looks like if we gave them what they wanted. And I personally think that that's because there isn't really a one size fits all. It really depends on your business. And it could be a fully outsourced type of solution, which is good because a core management team is responsible for just the direction, strategy, and ideation of a business. And this works for digital products, software as a service, and e-commerce businesses. Then you get the hybrid approach, which I think is the best for both businesses. And someone in the comments asked about culture. I think the hybrid approach is really great for companies that value culture, because you can carefully curate and look after small teams without compromising the culture to fulfill roles, which we often see companies having to do. Your staff is able to focus on the business's core objectives, and everything else gets handled by short-term contracting. Last but not least, we get the fully perm, mostly remote role. This is sort of just the traditional model with the added benefit of time and location flexibility. I don't really think there's many businesses that fit into that category, perhaps with mission-critical business sectors like banking, where privacy is a major concern. And there's still problems that we have to solve, like transparency, resource allocation, and it was mentioned before, like people interacting. And we are addressing those problems with technology. In terms of physical office space, I imagine a future where we have shared workspaces and individuals are working on specific projects, and you could work with people that you get on with instead of the chatty Cathy in the booth next to you. You have the freedom to move around, and companies may, instead of having physical buildings and spaces, pay a membership or give an allowance for their staff to be able to use shared office spaces all over the world. So we've come to establish, for a number of reasons, that companies don't really have a choice to go in this direction. But I think there's a great silver lining here, in that it's actually proving to be better for businesses. Businesses are able to be leaner, be more experimental, and focus more on their core functions. With fewer perm staff and fewer imposed costs like rent, you have room for higher salaries or home office allowances, which are variable and highly controllable by the business. And that's why you can be leaner. And when COVID 2.0 comes in whatever form, a company can have a leaner ledger and drop experimental projects and go into a resilient mode much more quickly than what was previously possible. Companies can experiment more because you can just pull in a team and run an MVP for an idea. It's a minimum viable product. You can test the waters, and if it doesn't work, the project comes to an end and you don't have that long-term cost. And you can focus more on your core functions because you can outsource non-core functions at a far lower cost. I mean, outsourcing is nothing new, but previously you'd be outsourcing to another company who has their own overheads and inefficiencies. Now you can outsource directly to individuals because we have platforms that give us access to them without the company's markup, and you have assurance on the quality of personnel that you're putting on your project because you're actually picking them. So now we can get back to what I started off with. Is this the end of the war? And it's not as dramatic as what it seems. What I meant was the war on talent. I think companies need to stop waging a wasteful war on acquiring sole access to experts, but instead they need to learn to operate in a more collaborative shared environment where you can access a talent rather than acquiring it. Just to share a little bit of my dream, I kind of see like a utopian future where menial tasks are automated entirely and people will be free to travel anywhere whilst working. Every individual may have some form of universal basic income, and their life focus needs to shift from doing a job for survival to pursuing your passions, being challenged and solving problems. The core thing about this is that this utopia only exists if we speak and ideate openly on how to structure that civilization. We need to accept that AI, automation, and the gig economy are eventualities. We can either be scared of it or we can shape its place in our world.